Have you ever tried to sit in absolute silence, just for a moment, and command your mind to stop, to simply be quiet? If you have, you know exactly what happens next. It doesn't obey. Instead, it gets louder. A chaotic stream of anxieties, fragments of old conversations, songs you didn't choose, and fears you didn't ask for. It feels like a radio station you cannot turn off. But here is the terrifying question we rarely ask. If you were the one listening to that voice, then who is the one speaking? For thousands of years, the ancient schools of mystery, from the Hermetic initiates of Egypt to the consciousness researchers like Itzhak Bentov, have tried to warn us about a specific mechanism. They whispered that the voice in your head is not you. It is not even your friend. Thoth, in his warnings about the mental plane, described it as a foreign installation, a mechanism designed to keep you trapped in a feedback loop of artificial reality. You believe you are thinking, but in reality, you are being thought. Most of us live our entire lives identified with this intruder. We say, "I am angry," "I am worried," or "I am unworthy," confusing the signal with the receiver. This is not a philosophical metaphor. It is the primary lock of the matrix. If they can control the mental narrative running through your neural pathways, they do not need physical chains. The prison is already built inside your own skull, and you are the one defending its walls. Consider this. Science tells us that the brain consumes 20% of the body's energy, yet nearly 90% of our daily thoughts are repetitive loops, the exact same thoughts we had yesterday. Why would an evolutionary biological system waste so much energy on redundancy? Unless the redundancy is the point, unless the repetition is a program code designed to keep your consciousness fixated on a very narrow bandwidth of reality. Today, we are going to perform an act of exorcism, not of demons, but of the false I. We will decode Thoth's Law of Mentalism, not as a tool for manifestation, but as a warning of how reality is hacked. We will look at the God particle mechanics Itzhak Bentov revealed, and we will hand you the keys to locate the still point, the only place in the universe where the intruder cannot go. If you are one of the few who suspects that your mind has been weaponized against your soul, you are in the right place. Before we unlock the first seal, if you are ready to reclaim your sovereignty, please click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The algorithm hides this knowledge. You have to choose to find it. Now, let us disconnect the feed. To understand the trap, we must first understand the architecture of the prison. The first principle of the Kybalion, the great Hermetic text attributed to Thoth, states simply, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." For centuries, modern law of attraction gurus have sold this concept as a way to get cars, money, and relationships. They tell you, change your thoughts, change your reality, but they missed the warning label. If the universe is mental, if the fabric of reality is literally made of consciousness, effectively a holographic projection as Itzhak Bentov scientifically proposed, then your mind is not just a private sanctuary. It is a node in a vast interconnected network. Just as a computer connected to the internet can be accessed remotely, a mind connected to the mental plane is vulnerable to intrusion. The ancients understood that the all is mind meant the environment itself is composed of thought matter. Imagine you are swimming in an ocean. You are wet not because you chose to be, but because water is the medium of that environment. Similarly, in a mental universe, you are constantly bathed in thought forms. The mistake humanity makes is assuming that every thought swimming through their head originated from their own volition. We claim ownership of psychic debris that is merely floating through the collective atmosphere. Itzhak Bentov took this further with his wild pendulum theory. He proposed that our reality flashes in and out of existence billions of times per second. In those micro-intervals, where we blink out of physical space, our consciousness expands into the universal field, the mental plane. If that plane is polluted, or if it is controlled by a frequency designed to limit you, you bring that limitation back with you every time you blink back into this reality. You are downloading a virus 14 times a second. This is why Thoth's teaching was not just about manifesting, it was about guarding. The emerald tablets warn of the masters of the mind and the children of shadows who learned to manipulate this mental substance. They understood that if the universe is a hologram projected by consciousness, then controlling the projector, your mind, is the ultimate power. They don't need to control the world. They only need to control the lens through which you see it. So the law of mentalism is a double-edged sword. It explains how you are a creator, yes, but it also explains how you are a slave. If you do not master the law masters you. The matrix isn't a place. It is a frequency of thought that you have been tricked into accepting as your own identity. And the mechanism they use to inject this frequency is biologically hardwired into you.
Let's bridge the gap between ancient mysticism and modern neuroscience. You might think your wandering mind is harmless, a sign of boredom or creativity. But neuroscientists have found a specific network in the brain that lights up exactly when you stop focusing on the external world. They call it the default mode network, or DMN. When you are not solving a math problem or fixing a tire, when you are just thinking, the DMN takes over. And what does it do? It time travels. It regrets the past, or it fears the future. It rehearses arguments that haven't happened and replays embarrassments that happened 10 years ago. It is the neurological seat of the ego, the narrator that constantly tells you a story about yourself to keep your identity rigid. Now, picture this. What if the default mode network is not just a biological quirk, but a receiver? In the context of the foreign installation that the Gnostics warned about, the DMN acts like an antenna tuned to a specific low vibration station. It is the back door through which external programs enter. When you zone out watching the news or scrolling through social media, your critical faculties drop and you slide into the DMN. You are wide open. This is where the injection happens. Have you ever noticed how a sudden, dark thought can pierce your mood out of nowhere? You are driving, feeling fine, and suddenly a thought whispers, "What if I crash?" Or, "They are all laughing at you." You recoil. You think, "Why did I think that?" But you didn't. That thought was an injection, a frequency pulse. Bentov explained this through the mechanics of resonance. Your brain is a resonator. If you are vibrating at a frequency of fear or apathy, which is the baseline frequency of the matrix control system, you become a perfect match for these intrusive thought forms. They lock into your DMN and start a feedback loop. You feel the fear, which generates a chemical reaction in your body, which signals the brain to think more fearful thoughts. Crucially, this system is designed to bypass your conscious gatekeeper. Thoth warns in the tablets that the shadows cannot be seen by the eye, but can be felt by the soul. They operate in the peripheral vision of your mind. They disguise themselves as your inner voice. The greatest trick the Matrix ever pulled was convincing you that the self-destructive, anxious, limiting narrator in your head is you. Now we must ask the disturbing question, why? Why would a cosmic system be designed to keep you in a state of low-level anxiety, constant distraction, and self-doubt? If the universe is benevolent, why is the default setting of the human mind often so tortured? The answer lies in the physics of energy. In the Hermetic tradition, and confirmed by Bentov's study of biofields, every thought generates a specific frequency, and every frequency carries energy. When you think a thought of gratitude, love, or deep peace, you generate a high-frequency, coherent wave pattern. But when you are trapped in fear, anger, or compulsive worry, you generate a chaotic, low-frequency wave. Here is the secret they hide. That chaotic energy does not just disappear, it is food. In the esoteric traditions, and confirmed by Bentov's study of biofields, it is often called loosh, a spiritual currency harvested by entities or structures that exist just outside our visible spectrum. This brings us to a crucial concept, the egregor. An egregor is a psychic entity created by the collective thoughts of a group of people. Think of it as a massive, invisible battery. When millions of people focus on a crisis, a war, or a political outrage, they are feeding a massive thought form. This egregor, once birthed, has a survival instinct. It needs to eat. So it sends impulses back down to the minds connected to it, triggering more fear, more outrage, and more worry to ensure its food supply continues. Itzhak Bentov described this as a psychic feedback loop. Consider the fear loop. You have a thought, I am going to fail. That thought triggers the hypothalamus. Your brain releases cortisol and adrenaline. Your body enters a fight or flight state. Now here is the trap. Your body's chemical state now validates the thought. You feel anxious, so you think, I must be in danger. The thought feeds the body proves the thought. You are no longer thinking, you are reacting to a chemical addiction. The foreign installation exploits this loop. It keeps you replaying past traumas or future catastrophes, not because they are real, but because they generate the maximum amount of emotional voltage. You are running on a hamster wheel, generating power for a system that requires your ignorance to function. The intruder in your skull is not just a nuisance, it is a parasite. This explains why silence is so difficult. When you try to meditate, the egregor starves, it screams, it throws itching sensations at your body, sudden memories of unpaid bills or bizarre fantasies, anything to get you back into the noise, anything to get the voltage flowing again. Understanding this is the first step to breaking the contract. You realize that your worrying is not a method of solving problems, it is a method of being harvested.
However, we must be careful not to fall into the trap of victimhood. Thoth and the great masters did not teach these laws to scare us. They taught them to empower us. The law of mentalism, the all is mind, is neutral. It is like gravity. Gravity can crush you if you fall from a cliff,
or it can keep your feet grounded on the earth. The problem is not the law. The problem is who is operating it. The Emerald Tablets speak of the 7 lords who govern the laws of space and time. These forces use the law of mentalism to maintain the structure of the cosmos. The matrix manipulators use it to create a prison. But you, the sovereign soul, can use it to create a ladder. The same mechanism that enslaves you is the only mechanism that can liberate you. If reality is a hologram projected by consciousness, as Bentov suggested, then the foreign installation only has power if you agree to its script. The moment you withdraw your consent, the hologram begins to flicker. The system relies on your participation. It relies on you believing that the voice in your head is you. Thoth's wisdom suggests that we cannot destroy the mind. Trying to destroy the ego is a trap of the ego itself. It loves the battle. Instead, we must repurpose it. We must take the helm of the ship. The goal is not to stop thinking, but to stop being thought. It is to move from being the passive receiver of the mental internet to being the active broadcaster of your own frequency. This is the great alchemical transition. You stop fighting the darkness and simply turn on the light. But how do we do this practically when the neural pathways of anxiety are so deeply carved into our brains? How do we stop a machine that has been running on autopilot for decades? Bentov gave us a clue, a technique to find the glitch in the system, the still point. To break the code, we must access a state of consciousness that exists between the frames of the movie. Bentov explained that our physical reality is a stroboscopic effect. We blink on and off constantly. In the off phase, we return to the source, the absolute, the place of infinite potential. But we do it so fast, we miss it. The still point is that moment of silence, that gap where the matrix cannot touch you. The first step to accessing this point is a practice I call radical disidentification. You must become a scientist of your own madness. Throughout your day, a thought will arise, perhaps a thought of unworthiness. Instead of saying, "I am unworthy," you must catch it and say, "I am noticing a thought of unworthiness." This sounds simple, but it is revolutionary. By adding the phrase, "I am noticing," you create a gap. You separate the observer, the soul, from the object, the thought. You are the sky. The thought is just a cloud. Clouds are sometimes dark, sometimes stormy, but they can never harm the sky. The sky does not fight the clouds, it simply allows them to pass. When you practice this, you start to starve the egregore. You stop feeding it your emotional reaction. You watch the fear, but you do not become the fear. You treat the foreign installation like a radio playing in the background. You hear it, but you don't dance to its tune. But Bentov offered a more physical technique to anchor this state, leveraging the body's own micro-motion. He discovered that the body has a natural rhythm, a micro-motion caused by the ejection of blood from the heart. By tuning in to this rhythm, we can synchronize our brainwaves and literally tune out of the jamming frequencies of the environment.
Here is how you apply Bentov's resonance technique practically. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Close your eyes. Do not try to stop your thoughts. Remember, fighting them feeds them. Instead, shift your entire attention to your body. Feel the subtle pulsation of your own heart. Bentov discovered
that the ballistic recoil of the heart's pumping action causes the entire body to move minutely, a micro-motion. If you sit in perfect stillness, this motion creates a rhythmic oscillation. As you relax deeper, this oscillation can form a standing wave in the aorta, which eventually resonates with the skull. When this resonance is achieved, the fluctuating magnetic fields around the brain stabilize. You enter a state of high coherence. In this state, the foreign installation, the chaotic noise of the matrix, simply cannot attach to you. It is like trying to attach a rusty hook to a laser beam. The frequencies are incompatible. In this silence, you are not thinking, you are vibrating. You have moved your consciousness from the mental plane, where the archons or parasites feed, to the causality plane, where you are the creator. This is the still point. It is not empty space. It is a space so full of potential that linear thought is too slow to exist there. Practice this for just 10 minutes a day, and you will begin to notice the intruder losing its grip. The voice in your head will start to sound like a distant echo rather than a command. This brings us to the ultimate synthesis. Thoth and the Hermetic Masters did not want you to simply think better thoughts. Positive thinking is still thinking. It is still operating within the matrix of duality, good versus bad, happy versus sad. The ultimate goal is to transcend the machine entirely. We must distinguish between thinking and knowing. Thinking is linear, slow, and noisy. It requires language, symbols, and time. It is a process of the brain. Knowing, or what the Gnostics called Gnosis, is instantaneous. It is holographic. It does not come from the mind. It comes through the mind. When Itzhak Bentov described the universe as a hologram, he meant that every piece contains the whole. You already have all the answers inside you. You do not need to think your way to the truth. You need to remember it. The Mentalism Trap works by keeping you so busy processing external data that you never access the internal hard drive. When you achieve Gnosis, you don't ask, "Am I safe?" You simply know you are eternal. You don't ask, "What is my purpose?" You are your purpose. This state is terrifying to the control system because a human in a state of Gnosis cannot be programmed. You become a glitch in their simulation. You become the wild pendulum that swings free of the clockwork. So the next time the intruder whispers a doubt, a fear, or a judgment, recognize it for what it is, a foreign script. Do not fight it. Just step back into the observer mode. Laugh at it. Say, "I see you, but I am not you." In that moment of recognition, the chain is broken. The alchemy is complete. You have turned the lead of heavy thought into the gold of pure awareness.
The universe is indeed mental, as Thoth wrote, but the mind was designed to be your servant, not your master. For too long, humanity has been trapped in a phantom reality, chasing shadows on the wall of a cave, terrified of a voice that isn't even their own. But the codes are breaking. The fact that you are listening to this message is proof that the signal is getting through. The foreign installation is malfunctioning because you are waking up. Remember, you are not the chatter. You are not the anxiety. You are the silent, spacious presence that listens to the chatter. You are the consciousness that exists before a thought is born and remains after a thought dies. That is your sanctuary. That is your power. We have only scratched the surface of the human potential. In the next transmission, we will leave the head and descend into the secret of the heart, the only organ that produces a magnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain. If the mind is the steering wheel, the heart is the engine. You won't want to miss that decoding. I am the director. Until we meet again in the silence, keep watching, but more importantly, keep knowing.